Hey everybody, it's Yo Taylor back here at the Style Table on My Style Mondays, and today I have a special guest. Her name is Carmen Montgomery. She's the CEO of Strategic Human Resources Management and Consulting LLC. But she is also a passionate patron of the arts. She's a curator and creative collaborator to many different artists in the entertainment sphere. And we're here to discuss a movie called My Private Line to God. And she's going to tell us all about it. And of course, we're going to talk about her style after this because she is a fashionista. Okay. Welcome to the show, Carmen.
Thank you, Yo.
So let's talk a little bit about you and your passion for the arts.
Well, it start back to, I guess, a lot of our passions when we were children. You have this desire to become a photographer, or, you like watching movies and you like listening to music or going to concerts. So I actually played an instrument, the violin. And that was probably from the age of 9 till I was 17 years old. And that was the beginning of, going to concerts and actually performing myself and recognizing how music and the art of music impacted people.
Okay.
From there, it just kind of blossomed and continued on through college. And I majored in mass communications, which is, art, through the communication vehicle.
You worked for the government. I mean, like a high level position in a very conservative, regimented part of your life. So how did you balance all of that? I have this one gear and I keep this one gear here, and then I have this other gear and then I just let loose in this gear.
Well, it's funny. Our parents teach us to, get jobs. Back in, I'm a child born in the 60s. So parents, 70s, 80s. Look, you go to college, you get your degree, and you get a job so that you can get a pension. And that became the focus, even though I enjoyed the arts. So that career became very, very, very demanding. So much so that, a lot of late nights, weekends, um, and trying to have a social life and manage a career in a very structured environment, working for the DoD, Department of Defense, kind of just pushed me to more of my critical thinking versus my artistic side. And it's just now that I started to realize that even though that career, pushed me into critical thinking and a more strategic mindset and a very focused mindset, which was conservative because we had to host clearances. So having a clearance meant that I could not go out and do a lot of the fun stuff. I mean, we could have fun, but you had to be careful about the environments you were in because of that clearance and your need to maintain it. So I think the arts was underlying in that, you started to focus on arts, and when you purchased your first home and you designed and you built it, the clothes you wore when you were out in a social way that you could express your art, that way. Going to events like um, art shows, that became my vehicle for dealing with or managing or at least still being able to be involved in the art side.
Now, I know you have been supporting artists, whether it's independent designers to artists, painters, musicians that you have hosted, you have supported, you have connected and put them in places where they can get more exposure because you're so passionate about what you do in the arts, which is so cool to me. And literally from music to art to entertainment. And now you have your hands in this movie called My Private Line to God. Please tell us a little bit about that.
My private line to God, it's really interesting when you talk about, the path your life may take, and what the passions are and what your gifts are. I actually, for some very odd reason, attract artists. I mean, I could be at a concert and somehow one of the musicians and I will end up in a conversation. With the painting and arts world, it was being at a art gallery that was owned by my friends, and there was a very well-known African American artist, LaShawn Bill, there, and somehow we struck up a conversation and we became friends, and I started hosting art events at the house and a host of other activities. Alongside that, I have a desire and passion for interior design. Never studied it, but like many of us, you kind of start to recognize that not only do I love furniture, I have a knack for maybe putting pieces together in colors, not even realizing, that it was a gift other than people would say they liked, those things that I did. So all the chemistry of all of that coming together, coupled with a girlfriend, one of my best friends who I took care of when she was with dementia. She was an interior designer. And 30 years of our relationship, she and I would go in and out of homes, the showrooms or the houses where you could go in and check out the new models. We did that relentlessly. But there was something she said to me one day that said, Carmen, furniture is art. She could just decorate in a way that I've never met anyone else that had her level of ability to design. And she said furniture is art. So connecting the dots to this movie and recognizing that, I love art and it comes through because somehow or another I continue to meet people who are in the arts. Someone came to me and said, Carmen, I know a film director who is looking for a middle to upper middle class home to film her movie in. And, we all love how your home is decorated. Would you be interested in allowing them to film at your home? And I said, I'm not quite sure. What is the script? What is the movie about? And let me meet the film producer, whose name is Mignon Pinson. So we met and immediately just had a connection. But in the midst of that, she walked through each room in my home, her and her production team. And it was just this nodding, yeah, this is going to work for my storyline. Storyline is actually a faith-based film based on a young lady who faces some childhood trauma and learns to use the power of prayer to help her navigate that trauma and that life. And so that drew me in because I love children. And today, where there's so much violence, so much disaster, so much, war and hate, that for our children to have something like a movie that would steer them in a direction of prayer and belief in God and faith, that touched my heart because, believe it or not, it's only recently that I thought, most of your life, your prayer to God has been that your work would somehow impact people positively.
Mm-hmm.
And, what better way than through film and a project that is wide reaching that I had this opportunity. So that's how I became aligned with this project.
And so with your gift for interior design, you became the set decorator.
I did. In fact, she said, but Carmen, because your house is so ready for this project, I mean, every day she came in, everything was in place. I was given the opportunity to transition one of my bedrooms. My home is, designed for adults because I don't have children. And there's one particular guest bedroom that we decided on would be the Joy, is the name of the character, her bedroom. And quickly, within a short period of time, I had to convert this room into a room that was decorated like a kid's room. And so I went to consignment shops, I went to thrift stores, I went to the stores, looking at a way that I could convert that bedroom into a beautiful, children's room, a young girl's room. So I found a beautiful pink lamp at a consignment shop, and then I went to the thrift store in my community and found these big, pretty pink pillow shams And my niece, Summer, who has a ton of dolls, donated these dolls to the room so that I could decorate it along with a picture that I found as well. And I enhanced the room by adding pink and white. But it literally turned out very well. And when you see the movie and the scenes, it comes across very beautifully on the screen. And so Mignon at that point said, okay, we're assigning you a set decorator because you have a really good knack for decorating.
Wow. I think that's so awesome. And to open up your home to support such a positive project, again, that speaks to your passion, not just your talent and your gift, but you give your time.
Yes.
And that's why, you are truly a passionate patron of the arts.
Thank you
Now,
for those kind words.
so I also want to talk a couple minutes about your own personal style because your style is very eclectic and it is, it's just cool. Y'all, she just dressed very cool and she knows how she shops the way I like to shop. And that means something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. You can put it all together and it comes out like pow. And she can do that thing, y'all. She can do that thing, and she always looks fabulous.
Thank you.
So tell me some of your favorite places to shop and why you like to shop and some of the colors and things that you like to wear.
Well, again, I will take it back to my childhood. My mother was a socialite, and out of three girls and one son, all the way down to my dad would look at me and say, "You look just like your mother. You are like her." And to this day, people will still say, "I'm like my mother." She was a socialite. She dressed well until she passed in her on her at 80 years old. And as a little girl, I remember lying in bed after she fed us and everything, and she put on her wigs and she put on these gowns. She was a member of the Elks, and they would have balls, and she would wear these ball gowns and make her face up in these big, pretty wigs. And I just look at her, and she just always dressed well, not knowing that, it would have the impact on me that it has. So I trace it as far back as that. So now looking back over my life, I realized that I never usually picked sets. You know how you can go in a store and they had coordinates.
Hmm.
I bought pieces that moved me, pieces that made me feel a certain way. And this is odd because I'm just now starting to realize that based on my girlfriend Patsy, who talked about, furniture being art, I realized that clothes are art. And I start to recognize that, we all probably see things that we like and don't even recognize that that is art to us. It's something about that object, that color, that feel of the fabric that makes us feel good. And so, even down to furniture, you will not find that I will go into a department store, except for my bedroom. You will not find pieces that were a collection, a bedroom collection. I will get one or two pieces, but I always throw in these other pieces that I find that really magnetize me. And it literally is something that I just really like. So I do the same thing in clothing. I had a space of time in my career because I grew up in the government and then became a manager. And I looked fairly young that I had to even wear wigs and hair that made me look older, but I also wore gray, brown, black, blue, beige, all the earth tones. And the minute I retired, I went into every bright color that I could find: orange, yellow, pink, fuchsia, on and on and on, because those colors work better with my skin tone as well. But it also makes me feel good, makes me feel happy. So my clothing style is very eclectic. It's usually an odd piece. It's something about it when I see it on a hanger that's unique, that's different. I like the way it makes me feel. I like the color of it. And that's generally how I dress. That's generally the type of clothing that I wear. And I will shop at some high-end stores. Of course, I have some of those high-end items by the well-known designers like, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Ralph Lauren, etc. But generally, that's not the preponderance of items that are in my closet. I get unknown designers. I get pieces that aren't even by designers. It's just that I like how the fabric feels, the color looks, or the style and design. And I learned recently, maybe it was in my head somewhere that, you know, style, clothes, fashion is what you wear, but style is how you wear it. And that
Mhm.
sticks with me to this date.
That's the exact definition. Style is who you are. It's your personality, and fashion is here today, gone tomorrow. Your style is your identity. It speaks for you before you say a word. Um, and that's why I tell people who say, "Oh, I don't have any style." Yes, you do. There's somebody that you look at and you say, whether it's a mentor or whether it's a celebrity, there's somebody that you admire their style and you go, "Oh, I would love that because that's something I would want to wear. I like that."
Yes.
And so you do have a sense of style. You just have to figure out where to go get it for you and how it works best on you. And that's what style is. I feel like you, like me, I'm a curator of pieces, unique, wonderful pieces. And it doesn't matter where I find it, whether it's a consignment shop for you, whether it
Yes.
is at some, like you said, independent designer, or if it is at a high end store. I like to curate the pieces together to make a very special, individualized look for you that's personalized to you. And
Yes.
that's what I do. And because I see, you say like furniture is artwork, I see a woman standing there. To me, I don't care what size you are, I see a blank canvas
Yes.
to dress like art. And so I love it. I
That's a
love
great
it.
way of looking at it. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Now I want you to tell us when's the next showing, because there is another showing to my private line, because this was a huge success, you guys, this first showing. So this is
Yes.
so exciting. So they're doing another showing and Carmen's going to tell us when.
Yes. We have been testing the waters to determine how public interest would be, how great it would be in the story, the script, the theme, and all of that by, putting snippets out on social media, on YouTube, and we started to get lots of hits there. And so that's how we determined, how successful it would be. So the movie was like a great success this past Saturday, March 2nd. We had upwards of 400 people uh, on location at this church, and it was very well received. Everybody's emailing us, calling us, texting us saying they loved the movie. And so, as a result of that, we are going to have another showing, and it's at a church in Prince George's County, Maryland, on the 16th of March. I will get that name out as soon as possible, but right now we are just reveling in the excitement and success of the first showing that we had on yesterday and all the love that we're receiving behind the viewing of that movie. It was a total success.
And with you guys, she's going to look for the comments later on, and as we go out throughout the week. So hopefully we'll have the exact location of the next showing, so you get a chance to buy a ticket and support this this filmmaker and this passionate patron of art.
Yes.
Carmen, thank you so much for being a part of My Style Mondays. And you guys,
Thank you.